Okay, this is number 1 from your midterm review day 2. I want to find the a sub 28th term of this. So to do this, I'm going to have to find the formula. So let's find that formula. This is an arithmetic sequence because every time I'm subtracting 2. So the formula for an arithmetic sequence is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d to the n minus 1. So my a sub 1 here is negative 10. I know I'm subtracting 2 every time, so my common difference is negative 2, and then multiplied by n minus 1. So then I get negative 10 minus 2n plus 2 when I distribute that negative 2 to both terms. And then finally I'm going to get my explicit formula is negative 8 minus 2n. So there's the explicit formula. So if I want to find a sub 28, I'm just going to plug in 28. So I'll get negative 8 minus 2 times 28, or negative 8 minus 56. Now I'm just going to make that look a little bit nicer. Negative 8 minus 56. Negative 8 minus 56 then is negative 64. So that negative 64 is the 28th term. This is number 11. It says if theta is in the 4th quadrant, so if it's in the 4th quadrant, I know that's down here, so here's my theta. If theta is in the 4th quadrant, it wants me to find sine of theta if cosine of theta equals 15 over 17. Okay, so here then, created this triangle. Cosine, remember, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is this side right here. So that is 15. The hypotenuse here is 17. So I got to find this last side, which I'm going to call b. And I'm going to do that by doing 15 squared plus b squared equals 17 squared. So 15 squared is 225 plus b squared equals 17 squared, which is 289. I'll then subtract 225, and when I do that I get 64, so I get that b squared equals 64. I will then take the square root of both sides and get that b equals 8. So this last side right here is 8. Now I want to find sine of theta. Sine of theta, remember, is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So now my opposite side is 8 over 17. The last thing I need to think about is that in this 4th quadrant, sine, which is the same thing as y, is negative. So that means that this has to be a negative 8 over 17. And that's going to be my answer for sine of theta. Now here's number 1 on the arc length problems. So it says here, it gives you a circle. It says that this angle right here is 45, and this is 5 miles. So if I want to then figure out what this arc length is, I'm going to use the formula that arc length equals pi over 180 times r times theta. So I'm trying to figure out what is a, or my arc length. So it'll be arc length equals pi over 180 times 45 times 5, because this is my theta and that is my r. Then when I enter that in the calculator, I get 3.92 or 3.93, because I should actually round that to be 6, and since in the problem this 5 was in miles, it would be 3.93 miles. Now, let's look at a problem where we go the opposite way, like number 7. So looking at number 7, I have a circle here. It gives me here, I'm trying to find this angle. It says that this is 1 centimeter and this is 4 centimeters. So I'm going to use the same formula that a equals pi over 180 times r times theta, except this time I'm going to try and find what this theta is. So, looking at the problem, my arc length is 4, pi over 180 stays the same, and I'm multiplying by 1. And then I have this theta here. Now, to get what theta equals, I'm just going to divide by pi over 180 times 1, divide by pi over 180 times 1, because then all of this cancels over here, leaving with theta by itself. And then when I plug this in the calculator, I get 229.2 degrees. Now, if I wanted to round this to the nearest degree, I would round that to be 229 degrees is my theta, because that's the closest degree. You need to make sure that you're reading and seeing what exactly the problem wants you to round it to. Okay, now let's look at the last page of review. It says the last page are sequences word problems. Let's look at one. It says every year the attendance at an outdoor music festival has increased. The first year there was 2,000 people. The second year there was 2,750 people, and the third year there was 3,500 people. So it wants me to write an explicit rule for the sequence, or the rule for this. So if I was going to do this, this looks like an arithmetic sequence to me, because every year I'm adding 750 people. So let's use our explicit formula that a sub n equals the first term, or 2,000, plus the common difference, which is 750, times n minus 1. So my formula would be 2,000 plus 750n minus 750. And then my final explicit formula would be, when I combine this 2,000 and negative 750, would be 1,250 plus 750n. This would be the explicit formula. Now, if it wants to know how many there would be in the 30th year, I'm just going to plug in 30 for n. So a sub 30 would be 1,250 plus 750 times 30. When I enter this in the calculator, I get 23,750 people. So that would be the amount of people in the 30th year of the festival. Okay, make sure that you try all these problems today as you are working with the sub. Hope you guys have a great day today.